Now, for those of you who are thinking, the next generation will figure it all out, I wouldn't be so sure. Prime examples of our confused woke society often turn up in the younger generation. For instance, this delightful young girl who's trying to find herself a job.
So I just got yelled at for asking a very reasonable question. So I'm applying to go somewhere, and I just wanted to know, are there accommodations for people who struggle with time blindness and being on time, And then the person I was with interrupted and acted like I was asking something else, and then when we were done, they actually started yelling at me and saying that accommodations for time blindness doesn't exist, and if you struggle with being on time, you'll never be able to get a job. And then they're like, your stupid generation wants to destroy the workplace. And yeah, I think that a culture where workers are just cut off because they struggle with being on time, when there's other solutions that we can look to, I think that just anybody who thinks it's okay to just treat people like that, yeah, that culture needs to be dismantled. And then I asked that person, how can you feel good about yourself upholding this kind of system? And then to think I'm entitled. No, if people think it's okay to treat others like this, that's entitlement.
To think you're entitled, of course not. It's an absolutely reasonable concern. It must be horrific suffering with such an ailment. I mean, I know because I've caught it myself a few times after a night out. But alas, I have found accommodations for you. Here is a clock. It can be found in most generic stores and it's available since, the 1400s. Some can be mounted on walls, others people put by their bedside cabinet, and in fact rappers have actually been known to wear them around their necks so they can see the time at all times. You could even put one in your pocket if you wanted to, or maybe buy a gigantic one so that you can't help but look at it. Either way, there's plenty of options. And in fact, I've actually found the additional provision of the arm clock. Now, many people call this a watch, and my one only costs £7. So you can get them super cheap. Moreover, the phone that you recorded this tragic episode on, lo and behold, contains a clock inside it. So you could actually set countless alarms to remind yourself of the time. I know. I feel for you. I really do. I wonder, do you suffer with time blindness when it's time to finish work? Often working all the way through the night without sleep, just forgetting to stop working. I know I do. And I wonder, do airlines make accommodations for your lack of punctuality? Holding up planes when it's time for you to go on holiday? Or do you somehow make it on time when it's time to treat yourself? Now, it's unfortunate. It really is, I know, but many companies, in fact most of them, consider being where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, a basic requirement of employment. It's terrible, I know, it's one of these radical patriarchal systems, but it's important to remember that you're not alone. We all have obstacles, and I know it's a tough concept to wrap your head around, but actually, the world itself doesn't revolve around you. Time for the comments section.